Now we will start with the 6th semester MEP 302 IC engines, Unit 2. We have finished Unit 1. Now we will start with Unit 2 and the lecture number is 8. So as for the syllabus, we will start with carburetor and injection systems. Mixture requirements for various operating conditions in spark ignition engines, in the petrol engines. What is the requirement of the mixture? Mixture means the air and fuel mixture. What are the, for various operating conditions of the SI engine, what are the requirements for the mixture to fulfill? Engine induction and fuel system must prepare a air-fuel ratio, AFR, that satisfies the requirements of the engine over its entire operating regime. Entire operation, right? From slow speed to high speed, all the conditions should be satisfied by the engine, induction and fuel systems. The optimum air-fuel ratio for a SI engine should give, what should it provide? It should provide to the engine the required power output. The mixture strength should be such that whatever power output you want, you can get. The lowest fuel consumption, mileage, everyone wants for his vehicle that the fuel consumption should be minimum. Smooth and reliable operation. The operation should be smooth, without noise and reliable. Mixture required in different speeds of engine are, now we broadly made 3 different speeds. The low or the idling speed, that is in the low when the vehicle is just starting to move in the first gear, very low speed, or the idling when you come to a traffic light and you are standing still. The second is the normal power or cruising when you are moving at a average speed, let's say 50 to 60 kilometers an hour. And the third is the maximum power when you press the accelerator full for getting the maximum power when you want more speed. These are the generally 3 different speeds of an engine. Well, let us see the first. The low or the idling speed refers to the no power demand. Idling means no power. It's standing at the traffic light or moving very slowly without pressing the accelerator. There is no demand of any power. Air supply is throttled. The air supply is controlled. And residual gases make up a large fraction of the charge at the end of the suction stroke. Before the suction stroke, it was the exhaust stroke, and invariably, volumetric efficiency is never 100%, and invariably, some burnt gases, exhaust gases, will remain in the cylinder, which will mix with the suction stroke fresh charge. Moreover, during valve overlap period means valve, inlet valve and outlet valve, they don't abruptly change. There is always a overlap of the opening and closing of valves in respect of both. Some exhaust gases are drawn back into the cylinder. During the suction stroke, the exhaust gases which are just moving out of the exhaust port are sucked back in. So, for these conditions, during idling, you will require naturally a rich mixture must be supplied, and then this richness should gradually change to a slightly lean for the second range as shown in the diagram. Here you see in the diagram, this is the air-fuel ratio, 9, this is rich, and this is 23:1, 9:1. 23:1 means 23 parts of air to 1 part of petrol. So this is rich and this is lean. This is the load. At idling there will be no load, and as you go up, as you keep pressing the accelerator, the load will go on increasing. So you see that at idling you have a rich mixture, and this is the graph which is produced. As the load increases, the air fuel ratio must gradually start becoming leaner, and then we come to the normal cruising. And this part of the graph shows that when you want maximum power means when you press the accelerator fully, then again, we'll come to this again, a rich mixture is required. The reasons are stated in this, we'll read it. So this is the graph, rich mixture, low mixture, and this is the load. So this is the graph. Now what is this stoichiometric? Stoichiometric is the ideal air fuel ratio which gets completely burnt. This is approximately 14.6 or 14.7. As you can see, this is it's called stoichiometric mixture. This is the ideal mixture in which there are no unburnt gases left in the cylinder. Here also you see the main metering system comes into play after the idling, and it should continue in the full power demand. So this is the graph. This is just to show that this is a stoichiometric, and this is how the graph is slightly after it comes down slightly below the stoichiometric, and for full power again it rises to, let's say, about 11:1. Rich is from 9:1 to almost 12:13, and so. So normal power cruising. Yes, in this the AFR is about 11:, AFR average is about 11:1. 11 parts of air to 1 part of petrol fuel. The richness, as I stated, has to be gradually changed to a slightly leaner. It starts becoming leaner for the second range. This is the second range. Second range is normal power or cruising when you are moving at 50 to 60 kilometers an hour. Here the main consideration is on fuel economy. We want the maximum mileage from our vehicle. The reason is because mixture of fuel and air is never homogeneous. Homogeneous means it is never mixed properly. There will be some small pockets where the fuel is more and some pockets where the air is more. That complete mixture, there are various technologies for mixing of this thing. It's the higher studies, it comes in that. But it's never homogeneous, and the correct mixture of fuel and air would not burn completely, and some fuel would be wasted. So, would not burn completely when it's cruising, and some fuel would be wasted. If the fuel is going to be wasted, we need to make the mixture lean. Means less fuel, more air. Less fuel, more air. From rich to less fuel, more air. Here the AFR is about 17:1. 17:1 is the average. 17:1. This is the average. And this is where the economy of the mileage of the fuel is, we get that. So that's why they say when you are driving, good driving habits means drive at a constant, try to maintain a constant speed between 50 and 60. Most manufacturers say around 55. 55 according to me is the ideal. If you move at 55, you will get the greatest fuel economy. आपकी एवरेज, गाड़ी की एवरेज सबसे ज़्यादा होगी. It may be 4-wheeler or 2-wheeler. Then we come to the maximum power. Maximum power means we have pressed the accelerator fully and we want the vehicle to move with full power, full speed. This is obtained when all the air supply is fully utilized. So in the full power, we would like whatever air is coming into the cylinder as part of the mixture, it should be fully utilized. But again, as the mixture is not completely homogeneous, as I said, pockets are there, a rich mixture must be supplied because the engine speed is also very high and we want more fuel because we want to increase the power and increase the speed, 90, 80, 90, 100, whatever speed must be supplied to ensure complete utilization of air. So complete utilization of air, we will require, air is coming more, we will require more fuel. So it has to become rich again. Here the AFR is about, the average AFR is about 13, this is the average, is about 13:1. So these are the three speeds and these are the various average AFRs which we have worked out with reasons. Now, this is a bit of the practical part. How do you recognize, you are driving a car, how will you recognize whether the mixture is lean or whether it's rich? There are various indications in a car. Suppose the mixture is extra rich mixture, means somewhere in the range of 8, 9. Extra rich, we don't require so rich, but it's still so rich. The color of the exhaust smoke will be black due to unburnt carbon. You know, fuel contains carbon. From fossil fuels, it's the carbon there. Carbon is black, and the smoke which will come out from the muffler exhaust will be black. That means that your mixture is too strong. Go to the workshop and get it rectified. Carbon particles in the exhaust. And your muffler will also get clogged very early. Means so much of black soot is accumulating in your muffler and it will be clogged more than the time given for maintenance for cleaning the muffler. Consumption of fuel is high. You will notice that I keep a record. This is how much I filled, this is and take out the average. Similarly, you will find that when you calculate the average, you will find that the average is very low, which means the fuel consumption is high, and fuel consumption high means that the mixture strength was high. Surging while idling. You are stopping at the traffic light, red light, automatically, without pressing the accelerator, there is an increase in engine speed and automatically decreases. After some time, again engine speed increases. That's called surging. Surging, speed, little higher speed, come back to this thing. That is an indication that the mixture is rich. And then fourth, due to rich mixture, explosive sound is produced from the muffler. Due to unburnt fuel in the engine. Explosive sound means the carbon deposits which are there, unburnt gases are at high temperature, again some unburnt carbon, the carbon will be there, it will explode, mini explosions, small mini explosions, and you get that sound from the muffler. Sound produces from the muffler due to unburnt fuel. Okay. Now, second case is when the mixture is weak. There is too less of petrol, more of air. Stalling of the engine itself. You start the engine, if it's a little cold also, it will stop by itself because there is not adequate amount of fuel. The SI engine runs on the mixture of air and fuel, petrol and air, not only on air. There will be a loud popping sound in the carburetor, put, 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 like that coming from the carburetor, which means that the mixture is lean. They are not, the mixing is not taking proper place in the carburetor is not mixing the air and fuel in a proper ratio, and because the air is more and the fuel is less. Overheating of the engine. Actually, the engine will overheat because of the less fuel. The engine is bound to overheat. There will be a loss of power. You try to press the accelerator and it will not respond. In fact, it may even decelerate, then while accelerating, existence of the flat spot. You're accelerating your car, you're driving, and you're pressing the accelerator, but there's no response. The power is not increasing, nor is the engine speed increasing. That is called the flat spot. That is called the flat spot when there is no response when you press the accelerator. So now, next we will see the, as per syllabus, the simple carburetor. Before that, we will see the concept of carburation. What is carburation? What is carburation? And then we will see, look at the simple carburetor. You must know the principle of how a carburetor works. That's why it's being included in your syllabus. Concept of carburation. What is carburation? It is the process. You all know carburetor fitted in the old petrol engines. Today, these days we have the electronic control modules, all electronics. But before the electronics, it was there. You don't find this. Carburetor is very less. Very few engines you'll see ahead. Some few stationary engines where the speed is constant, and agriculture purposes, horticulture purposes, like that. It's virtually out from cars. It's not there. But we should know the principle. It is a process of producing a mixture of air fuel in the correct proportion. The ideal proportion is stoichiometric 14.6 or 14.7:1 for combustion in the engine cylinder. The carburetor should give the right amount for the various speeds. Factors affecting carburation. Let us look at the factors which affect the carburation or based on which the carburetor is designed. Engine speed. Engine speed is different for different engines. Some engines have a maximum speed of 4000 RPM, some will have 3000, maybe Maruti 800 or the other bigger models, there will be difference. At about 3000 RPM, let's say, from this you'll get an idea, the intake is approximately equal to, intake takes place in 10 milliseconds, 1/10 of a second. The intake, when the engine is running at 3000 RPM, the intake through the inlet valve allows it opens for 10 milliseconds. During this period of 10 milliseconds, fuel has to be evaporated, mixed with air, and inducted in the engine. From here you get an idea. This is a requirement which has to be fulfilled by the carburetor. Secondly, vaporization characteristics of the fuel. We need a volatile fuel which evaporates quickly at a certain higher temperature, and for that the petrol is the ideal, has been found out of the fossil fuels. The petrol is the best. It should evaporate and mix with the air. It should evaporate quickly and mix with the incoming air. Air is coming from the air cleaner, after the air cleaner into the induction manifold, and that's where the carburetor sprays the fuel, and they both mix. Third factor is the temperature of the incoming air. It should be high enough to evaporate the fuel, evaporate the petrol, but not too high to reduce its mass. It should be within a range. If it's too high, it will reduce its mass, burn prematurely, even the air. Design of the carburetor. So, the design of carburetor becomes important considering these factors. Induct the fuel into the air mass, fuel introduction, the air mass, and also distribution to various sectors. The design should be such, it should induct the fuel and air mass, and also thereafter, after mixing them, distributed to the various cylinders through the inlet manifold. So, these factors are kept into consideration while designing a carburetor. Function of a carburetor. Now, what are the functions performed by a carburetor? There are 6 functions. First is supply function. A mix of air and fuel has to be supplied to the engine. That's its job, is to supply a mix of air and fuel to the inlet manifold and through the inlet valve to the engine cylinder. Second is the providing function. What is the meaning of providing? Providing a rich mixture at the starting of the engine. We saw that at the start, at idling, we require a rich mixture of petrol and air. Regulating function, forming function, uniform mixture of air and petrol. It should be uniform depending upon the speed. Regulating function. What does it regulate? Regulating function of air and petrol by idle mixture screw. That is the idling jet, is so-called mixture screw, idling jet, and it should regulate, the mixture screw should regulate the flow of the spray of the petrol. Maintaining function. Fifth is maintaining a small quantity of petrol so that the petrol is always readily available to be sucked into the carburetor, and in carburetor venturi you will see that. And this petrol is generally in the float chamber. We will see ahead when we study the simple carburetor at a constant height head, that pressure head should be there, so that ideal head should be there. You will see it is approximately 1.5 mm. We will see when we study that. So this requirement is there for uninterrupted supply. And the sixth is the converting function. Converting the liquid petrol into vapor at the right temperature, as you study. For ease of mixing, it should become vapor, mix with the air, and mix with the air. So this should be converting the liquid petrol into a mist, into a vapor. Now we can study the simple carburetor, having seen that what are the factors affecting carburation and what are the functions of a carburetor. Let's see. We'll read this later. I'll first explain to you. This is a simple carburetor. This is the petrol tank of the vehicle. From the petrol tank, as we know, now this is the carburetor. This is the carburetor part. This part. The carburetor part consists of a float. There is a needle valve. What is the function? Needle valve. There is a float chamber. As we mentioned, there should be always some petrol available for the supply function. So petrol is always in this. And how is this regulated? This is regulated by the needle valve. When this starts filling up, this float, it's a hollow sort of brass or copper made small rectangular box. It rises and this needle valve closes and the fuel stops coming into this when the proper height is maintained. That proper height is, we will come to it, should be 1.5 mm from the discharge. From the discharge jet. This is the discharge jet. This is the venturi and carburetor body. It has two parts. In fact, the carburetor has two parts. One is the float chamber and one is these are the two main parts and the main body. From here, there is a discharge jet which passes through a metering jet. The metering jet controls the amount of fuel that is applied, and this control is affected by the amount of suction which is created here. Accordingly, the metering jet will respond. Suction is more, the metering jet will allow more fuel to go. If suction is less, then it will give less fuel. The air is coming from outside through the air filter into the carburetor. If you've all seen a carburetor in a workshop, on top of the carburetor is fitted a big round thing that is inside is the air filter. So it goes through the air filter and comes into the carburetor. This is the venturi. This purposely has been narrowed to increase the velocity of air. Let us see the construction first. This is the throttle. The throttle is connected directly to the accelerator pedal. When you want full power, this straightens up so that the more mixture goes into the engine cylinder. This is the inlet valve of the cylinder piston. This is the piston of the engine. This is the mixing chamber where the air and the fuel which is coming through the discharge jet. Here the fuel is mixed. This is called the mixing chamber. The throttle is connected to the accelerator, and from there the mixture is regulated depending upon the amount of power you require by the driver. It goes into the inlet valve. As I said, this is deliberately narrowed because we know the principle. I think it's Bernoulli's principle. When through a constriction, the airspeed will increase. Once the airspeed, some more suction will be created. The air will go faster. More vacuum will be created. Suction will be created, and this will. So the more the air is directly proportional to the amount of fuel which will enter into this. This happens in the suction stroke when the air intake and fuel mix, and this mixture must go. Suction stroke, the piston moves down, and all this mixture inside the mixing chamber of fuel and air will move through the manifold. This is the inlet manifold. For one cylinder, there will be an inlet manifold for all the cylinders into the cylinder. So let's read it again to revise it so that you are conversant with the working. It consists of two main parts: the body, this is the main body, and the float chamber. This is fuel tank, this is the carburetor. Float chamber. During operation, when the float is empty, it's never empty just for explaining purposes, it's always filled with something, with some petrol, is empty. The fuel pump from the fuel tank through a fuel pump, there's a fuel pump in between this, it sucks the petrol, the fuel pump sucks the petrol from this into this float, into the float chamber through the needle valve. The rise in the fuel lifts the float. This float lifts up to desired height, and then the needle valve stops the flow. It rises up and this gets blocked. Flow controlled by lifts floats into desired height, and the needle valve shuts off the fuel supply. Fuel height in the float chamber controlled by level of discharge jet. Controlled by level of discharge jet. So this is a standard fixed amount through hit and trial for a particular carburetor. It generally is about 1.5 millimeters from the point of discharge to the discharge jet and the level of petrol in the float chamber. Metering jet regulates. Metering jet is here. Metering jet regulates rate of fuel flow when engine starts. The suction is created during the suction stroke, drawing air through the carburetor. The air passes the discharge jet. This is the discharge jet. On way to the cylinder, causing fuel to rise in the jet to be delivered. Fuel rises through this jet and to be delivered to this rises and sprays and delivers to the mixing chamber in form of the fine spray. It has got, fine spray means it's got number of holes, there are various designs, and if you increase the number of holes, then the spray will be, you'll get a more spray, a better spray. Finer spray. The suction is proportional to the velocity of air, as I mentioned, the velocity of air. As the power increases, the velocity of the air will increase, passing the venturi tube. Venturi tube. A venturi tube protrudes, narrowing the area, narrowing the area for air to pass, thus increasing the velocity of air. Greater the velocity of air, suction 2 increases proportionately. The suction increase as the velocity of air increases, the suction is also increases proportionately. The speed of the engine is controlled by the throttle valve connected to the accelerator pedal, and the speed, when you press the accelerator, this will open up more and more mixture, air mixture will go in. Throttle valve placed between the mixing chamber and the intake manifold. It's placed between mixing chamber and intake manifold. Engine power is directly proportional to the throttle opening, controlling the quantity of mixture flowing to the engine, which I have just said. So this was the simple carburetor. This is a concept. Applications of the simple carburetor. These days we have 5, 6 or different type of carburetors. If you care to study it, you are welcome to study it. The applications are in small stationary engines and connected in small generating sets. Small portable engines used in agriculture, horticulture, where generally the engine speed is constant, because theoretically it has to give for these 3 speeds, but practically there are difficulties. It works best at one particular engine speed, and that probably is the stoichiometric 14.6:1. Limitations. There are limitations to this carburetor. That's why it's only used for, as I said, for a few stationary engines which generally move at 1 speed. First is the ignition problem. Ignition problem. At low speeds or at idling, the mixture is too weak, and generally you've seen on the road the driver is trying to ignite. In the older vehicles, of course nowadays there's electronic control modules, the ECM sends the current, but in the older vehicles at times, especially in winters, there was a problem of ignition in petrol engines. Second is the temperature problem. Temperature problem of the atmosphere. Now, in atmosphere means that in winter the density of air is different, in summers the density is different. Whereas for petrol, the density does not vary too much in winter or in summer. Therefore, with the rise of temperature, because of this difference of temperature, you have to have 2 settings for summer and winter. And this is not possible. You cannot change the carburetor when summer months have come. March, April आ गया, तो carburetor दूसरा लगा दो. November, December आ गया, दूसरा carburetor लगा दो. ऐसा नहीं. So these are the general problem. Running problem, as I mentioned earlier, is generally at 1 speed. It works best. That's why use is limited. If you have 1 running speed only, it's very good for that. But you rarely find that, only, as I said, in agriculture and other small engines which are static. Next is the mixture problem, almost same as the first problem nearly. The lean mixture at the starting and vehicle low speed. So starting is difficult, so richer mixture is required. Richer mixture is required at the start. Of course, low rally we have studied that the richer mixture was required, but it's not up to the satisfaction despite a lot of research. there are problems. So this simple carburetor has been done away with virtually, except for the few cases which I mentioned, and we have now better and more sophisticated carburetors which are in the petrol cars and petrol bikes and scooters. So with this we complete the chapter on carburetor and injection systems. Next time we'll go as per the syllabus, we'll see the next topic. Okay, thank you.